commit to center side. Doesn't really matter. We gotta get this guy COVID confirmation, vaccination confirmation. Yeah, this is it's Elias' big day. It's both our big days. It's Elias' first live WSOP event.
It's official.
Yeah, $1,000 Freezeout event. It's a faster structure tournament. It's a good tournament to play, and I think it's a good warm up for him for the $1,500 monster pack in a few days. I think this will be the fun one. This will be the true test of a lot of what we taught, a lot of what we worked on. Talking about not limping pre-flop, having larger 3-bet sizes when we're shorter stack, going all in instead of using not all in or limpings. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. How do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I'm pumped. Like the whole concept of it's real now.
Yeah.
We've all put a lot of hard work in it, both of us, in our own journeys, and obviously our journey together. So excited to just make it all real, right? This is the real kit and caboodle. Just happy to be here, but also really looking forward to make some money.
Yeah.
Get in.
Yeah.
Make some money.
Today's I think it's a 3-day tournament total, but if you make day 2, we'll be in the money. If you make day 2, there won't be very many players left as well. So I mean, not much left to it other than getting to it.
Yeah.
Jumping in there. So.
Let's go, Shannon.
So we're at the vaccination thing, getting him ready. He needs his player's card. He's off. Oh, he just got his player's card. So we were at step 1, now we're at step 0, back to step 1. He's on his way. He's moving. He's gonna get the vaccine verification. Then step 2 is to register the tournament. That's where we're at right now. All right, so we are.
She's official.
Yeah.
Got my Rio points card, as you can see with the World Series over there, and then the vaccine is now my vaccine is now approved.
All right, stage 2 complete. We got our tournaments, we got our tournament tickets. Elias is ready, I'm ready. We're about to jump in there. No messing around, we're just gonna get right in there, we're gonna start battling. We got a long day ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
But
done right.
Ideally, both of us will be playing for 12 hours, 10 hours plus breaks.
Put in a
plus
shift.
Break. Yeah.
It's a solid shift.
It's a long day, but it's a good day. Let's go get it.
Yeah, ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Let's fuck it.
Hey, good luck to you, man.
Thanks.
Good luck to you, brother.
Unfortunately, the 1000 Freezeout wasn't meant to be. Ended up a couple hands, kind of falling on the river. Almost had the flush on the way out when I was a little low. But again, whether it was not getting necessarily great hands or again a couple of my pocket pairs just kind of fell short. It wasn't meant to be today, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to jump in. There's a 250 buy-in that I'm about to jump in. Again, this wasn't meant to be, but jumping back into it and putting in the reps. Hopefully Egyptian has a better go, and I'm going to go cheer him on now and kind of give him an update and tell him where I'm going. Boom.
Where did you go all in? Like, what happened?
Well, at that point I was so short stacked. At that point I was like at 4.
You were 4,000? Okay, so yeah, 10 bigs.
Yeah.
So you were just a first raiser?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
At that point.
That's good.
He had the he had the AC, and then it almost again just see me flop the ace at the end, river at the end. But there were a couple times where again my pairs, I got a lot of borderline pairs that didn't want to have everything, and they had higher what's it called?
Kickers? Or?
No, they had higher stats that didn't make sense. Again, if they had any of the stuff that came on the table, I would have lost. So again, it just chipped away at it. I think the highest I got was
just a bunch of
2,500.
So you just lost a bunch of small pots?
Exactly. I wasn't sure about again pocket tens. Pocket tens against going against someone with a much larger stack.
What?
In regards to like,
what was the action pre-flop? So it's like somebody opens, it's on you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what position did he open?
Again, and it was frustrating because like even like the crap hands that I had eventually became the straight or whatever that after the fact. But again, there was just a bunch of hands that I didn't justify jumping in and just kind of blowing me out.
So you call flop, fold flop,
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the structure, it has gone. That's why it was a good idea we got here early because things got important quick. Like now we're already at 50 bigs.
Exactly.
In 2 hours, we'll have 40.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna jump into the 250.
It sucked to hear Elias busted so early. I know the game and how it goes sometimes, but I really wanted him to have a more thorough and lengthy first WSOP event experience. With a faster structure, eliminations were happening quickly. I was happy to hear he was not deterred and ready to fire the next available event. It was now on me to bring home the glory in the Freezeout.
Alright, I beat him the first hand.
Just a stern warning. Love to hear it. So last 2 hours, not the most eventful. Didn't chip up too much, but I did chip up. Got moved to a new table, but at our old table, we had a blind versus blind spot. The only notable hand. Big blind was pretty short. He had about 11,000 to start the hand. And I complete with 7 deuce off. A bit disrespectful, but I think it's a tournament. We can get away with it. I don't think big blind played for a living. So it's a 600 big blind. Limp in. He checks. Flop comes. King 8-5. 1 heart, 2 spades. Goes check check. Turn is the queen of hearts. I've got the deuce of hearts, and I figured we'll just go for it. He's probably going to auto-fold a lot, and he probably would have showed up with a king or an 8, or sometimes a 5. So I bet 1,500 into a pot of 1,800. He relatively quickly calls. I was prepared to give up, but then the river is the ace of hearts, so completing the flush, Jack 10 gets there. Kind of just looks scary. I proceed to bet 5K of his remaining 8,300. Thanks for a little bit, shows the queen, folds, and naturally you have 7 deuce off. If you bluff, you got to show it. So showed it. Didn't get respect for the rest of the day, but I didn't end up having any crazy pots. But yeah, fun one. That was it. That was it for the last 2 hours. Got 61.7K to start this. Late registration, I think, closed. Got like 1,356. It looks like 1,356. So yeah, probably still a ways away from being in the money, but yeah, this is where things get really interesting. People start to bust faster, chips start to fly, and I'm gonna get back into it. Try not to miss some hands.
So we're just taking a break for the 250 daily here at the Rio. Short stacked at the moment. Basically, a couple levels or two. I had the flush, king high, lost unfortunately to the ace high. Lost a pretty decent amount of stack, and I haven't been able to get back. I'm basically just waiting for the next decent hand to kind of go all in. That's what I got to do at this point. I'm gonna take the 15-minute break to kind of regroup, and then just all in it to win it. So again, I think with that one, it was one with a case where I did the right thing. I didn't go all in. Luckily, I kind of just called whatever he put in. I think it was like the 10 or 15 that he ended up. I think actually it was about 15. K chips, and then from there just cut me in regards to my stack, and I just haven't been able to get it. I'm getting a lot of shit hands. And again, now that we're further down into it, my opponents, if you will, everyone else on the table, they have a larger stack. So again, it's the case where I can't really necessarily bluff because they can call me and just eat me. So it's just one of those things where I just kind of, when the break comes out, when I get back in there, just wait for the next best hand and just kind of go all in at this point.
Alright, so not the best time for an update, not when I wanted to, it's not break. We just busted, well, it's a bit of a spoiler. So we opened Queen Jack suited off of a little over 55, like around 50, 55K. Early position, MP calls, button calls, so we go 3 ways to the flop. So I got Queen Jack clubs, flop comes Queen Queen 7. I check, MP checks, button quickly bets 3,500. I call, MP calls. Turn is the deuce, bringing a backdoor spade draw. I check, button bets 11K. So he bets like another 1/3. It's pretty easy. Got trips, pretty easy call. Call again. MP folds. The river spot is river 6 of clubs, check, and he tanks for a little bit and then goes all in. So I've got Queen Jack on Queen Queen 7 deuce 6. In theory, it's kind of close to a slam dunk call, but it's a weird situation where I just don't expect to see bluffs. And when I start thinking about bluffs, there's not a lot. And and it's kind of one of those weird hands where like, you know, he should be value jamming queen jack. Maybe he should have queen 10. I mean, he should probably be value jamming queen 10. So, but like realistically, I feel like we're just gonna see king queen and sevens a lot. I don't think he's gonna have ace queen. I think that 3-bet's pre. So there isn't like a crazy amount of things that I'm gonna see. And like, the problem is like I need him to get creative with bluffs, and I don't think that's a spot people get creative with bluffs. Maybe if it was heads up, there's more likely to be bluffs. But multi-way, when both players check call, usually we end up seeing value on flop once he continues turn to river. It was really close. I tanked for probably about 2 minutes, and then yeah, I mean I probably had like about 33, 34K left on the river to make our decision. It looked exactly what it was. It looks like king queen sevens is what I kind of expected to see. That's basically what I boiled it down to. It's like I expect to see king queen sevens. I mean, in theory, it's like a pretty slam dunky hero, but it's also like a spot where like I just don't expect to see bluffs. That's why I tanked for as long. But it's like it's also just like a tough hand to find the fold. But it's like I don't know. It's close. I probably should be folding if my assumptions are I'm just not going to be seeing the bluffs that I need to, which is like virtually none. But it's always hard to make this sort of laydowns. I mean, it's a situation where like a lot of people snap call, don't think much about it, just go I got trips, call. But yeah, I feel like it's and there's a lot of people that aren't just gonna fold too that are pretty elite. It's like a weird spot where you need to be really confident that he's not bluffing. I don't think we can say for sure he's never bluffing. So do make the call, do lose, do bust. Yeah, it's no big deal. I mean, there's still a lot of people left. We're still early in the tournament. We call and win there. We have got infinite. So I'm not too worried about it. Like if he just has like any sort of like random king jack off or jack 10 that blocks the sort of hands I have, yeah, we do great. And I think in that spot like he can target and try to make fold like aces. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna try to make aces and kings fold, which is a lot of the time what we have. A fair amount of time we have. We have like aces, kings, jacks, 10s, and he probably doesn't expect queen X, but we're gonna have queen X there. Yeah, shitty way to go up. It's no big deal. I mean, brick the event. You gotta lose somehow. Bit of a cooler, but yeah. I mean, that's what we're gonna wrap up. I guess from here on out, we're gonna be team rail for Elias. Hopefully he's crushing the deep stack. Hopefully he's only in for 1. You know, he's not in for like 3 or 4. Looks like there's a decent amount of people. Hopefully her all night for him. But that wraps up for me for the 1K. Next event, I'm pretty sure I play as the 1500 monster. All right, well, it's again another somber early update. We're hoping to go a little bit longer. Yeah, we got here around 10:30, started playing around 11. I got off to a fire start, a really good start. But I mean, one of the things about the $1,000 tournament we just played is it's a quick structure. It's a turbo, but it's not called a turbo. Yeah, for whatever. Yeah, thinking about it, it's like 30-minute blinds. It goes by quick. Yeah, so I mean, this is your first WSOP event. You know, how was the feeling when you first sat down? You gave him your slip, your ticket, and then you're playing your first hands. What was the feeling like?
Excited, obviously. Like with me specifically being my first one, there's a huge component of like excited to be here. I think kind of like in our conversations before we started jumping on and recording, I think there were certain components where you know, whether it's like pocket pairs or certain aspects in regards to my hands where I gave almost a little bit too much respect to some of the people at the table, especially when I would see later on some of the loose hands that they're playing and whatnot. So again, it's kind of like a reality check, if you will, because we're actually doing it in here. But was able to essentially not the 1,000 freeze out, but for the 250 daily here at the Rio, I was able to again get to the second break or whatever like that. I was getting closer and closer. There are a couple highs and a couple lows, like more specifically, for instance, at the 250, I had the king jack flush, but obviously because, you know, Murphy's Law, what's called, the person I was playing against had the ace 2 flush. So again, there were certain components where I did the right thing, but someone just beat me. And again, that's kind of like the standard bearer of what I want to kind of take away from. But again, we're going to kind of we kind of already talked about it. We're going to do a little bit of a refresher on my end and just kind of, look at it, try to look at it as just as much as how we've done, especially the successful stuff on GG Poker in regards to online, that same energy and that same confidence in person, because they bleed just like me, and I'm looking to draw blood next time around for the obviously the stack coming up this Saturday.
I mean, as you're saying, and I mean, it's something that, you know, a lot of people watching at home or have experienced themselves, and me personally too. It's like when you first play live, it's intimidating. and you don't really want to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are built differently. Maybe they're okay with blasting off and losing, but your first couple tournaments, especially when you just start, like you just started a tournament, you don't want to bust the first couple hands, or you'll tend to err on the side of caution.
Yeah,
Most
exactly.
people err on the side of caution, so it's hard to mitigate that and sort of like reel it back and take a step back. You kind of need to get that first bit of experience.
The frustration.
There's two of you talking.
There's two of them.
Yeah, it's important to realize like people are playing pretty similar to the way they are online. Some people play a little bit tighter. Like some of the older generation doesn't play live or online. That's going to be playing live. So it's important to just play how you normally play online, and that's something that like when I'm playing, I try to replicate that. I try to think of it in a situation where like when I'm playing even here today, it's like in my gut I'm like, man, I don't really want to bust, but then it's like take a step back, think about it, what's the best decision I want to make. It's going to be X or Y. So I mean hit the drawing board a bit. It's not a big deal that you're going to lose a lot of the time when you play poker tournaments. We're used to it. We'll look at some pre-flop stuff, look at some post-flop stuff. We got 2 days to get prepped, 2.5 days if we include tonight. We'll hit the drawing board Saturday. We'll be back at it, and Saturday's the big day. That's the big one. The 1500 monster deck, hour-long levels. It's like a 5-day tournament. It's going to be a grind. So it'll be the true test. There's a lot of play time.
Ain't nothing to do it but to do it. I think we can commence our conversation now.
I know, we're allowed to talk.
Oh man, we'll tell another tale.
Yeah.
Let's get something to fucking eat.